Finishing your first game shouldn't really be hard, but I see a lot of beginners just stuck learning the wrong way and making it more complicated than it really needs to be. So let me share my experiences with tutorial hell and how I learned game development. Because when I was younger, I was stuck in tutorial hell. I was just wasting tons of hours. And I know it feels productive in the moment to watch the tutorials, you follow along. It's very fun, right? It's very fun to watch these tutorials, and then you can build a project on your own computer. Like, it's your project, you can do whatever you want in this project. And I also know it feels productive because you're literally building. Okay, you're building. That's what your brain is saying, right? You think you're building, but in reality you're just consuming, watching these tutorials and then typing something in your own editor and like pressing the same buttons as you see on YouTube. You're not using your own brain, you're not using your own creativity. And that's why game development is so awesome, because we can express our creativity, we can solve problems ourselves, and you don't solve any problems in it at all, and you're not creative at all. Maybe you can change like a color of something. Okay, cool, you're creative. Like, you're a toddler, you change a color, right? You're not doing the most beautiful thing about game development, which is that you can be creative, you can make whatever you want. Not just follow along someone else like you're doing at your work or your school. This is finally your time. This is the hobby where you can be creative and make something that you want to make. Not just to follow along, because that's what you're used to in like work or school. You can actually make something that you want to make, and a product that you can show to others. You can show it to your friends, family. You can publish this. Strangers can play it. But you're just stuck here watching tutorials and you're thinking that's the best way to learn and thinking that's productive and that's like game development, right? It's not game development. It's just instruction following. I was doing all these things, felt smart, I could recognize this. Okay, yeah, this line does this. Okay, I know that, right? I can remember that for a few hours. But the next day, everything is gone. I didn't remember anything. And that's what tutorials does to you. So what happened is that when I was 11 years old, that's when I started game development, and for years after that, I was just stuck in tutorials. I didn't have game development as like my main focus. I played video games, did school, all these other things, right? But I was frequently opening the game engine. I was following these project tutorials. Like, I really wanted to learn game development, but I didn't remember anything. I didn't like actually gain any skills from watching this. So I just felt completely useless, demotivated. Then I got some motivation to watch like another tutorial, but I didn't get anywhere. I could like familiarize myself with the game engine, but I didn't know how to code. I couldn't make anything because I didn't know how to code. So what I did was I quit game development for multiple years after this, because I knew that I didn't get anywhere from just what I was trying to do. I didn't know how learning actually works. And I was just watching tutorials, didn't learn anything, got demotivated, and eventually I just quit completely for multiple years. I did other things, got other interests, but then I suddenly came back not that long ago, like 1 or 2 years ago, and I started doing C++. I started learning C++. And the thing with C++ is that it doesn't have the same like tutorial culture on YouTube. There's no like tutorial in C++ with like 3 million views like some brackies or other tutorials might be. There's no like C++ tutorial YouTuber that's like very like stimulating dopamine edits, right? Which these game development tutorials can be these days. They can be like really high production quality, they can be like really well made, but there's still a tutorial part. Doesn't change anything, but they're not like this stimulating. So it kind of encourages you to just build things, right? And that's what I did. I didn't watch tutorials, I just built things, just tried some things, right? I built a calculator, then I built like a bank system. It's still on my GitHub right now. It's a bank system, it's a huge project, right? Thousands of lines of code. I went from watching tutorials, couldn't make a single player moment script because I didn't remember anything, to making these like thousands of lines of code of a bank system where I did like encryption, I did passwords, I did fucking logins, bank system, money, all these different things, right? It got a pretty complex system for like an intermediate without AI. Like, this was when we didn't have ChatGPT. And that's when I figured, okay, this is how you learn. You learn by actually building, you learn by struggling, you learn by trying things yourself. Not just getting the solution from a tutorial, follow along, trying to like remember it the best you can. Oh, I'm going to remember this, write it in your notes, whatever. That's not how you learn. That's what I figured. You actually learn when you try to build. You just try to build, experiment around. You try to build, you try to experiment, you try to make cool projects that you enjoy making. Like, I had tons of fun making this bank system. It was something I enjoyed making, and I also felt like I was learning something new every single day. I could wake up in the morning, grab a coffee, work on this bank system in C++, for example. And I just felt like I was learning like literally like 40% more every single morning. And I was like, my skills went like this. I was getting really good at C++ and coding. And that's all because I built things. So we can apply that to game development as well. That's what I did. I applied this to game development and I learned game development finally. I spent years stuck in watching tutorials. I couldn't make a moment script. And then I started struggling in game development. I started actually learning now. And now I can make like complex games. I can make full games. I can release them, right? My mobile game that I published to App Store and Google Play, it was made in under 30 days. And I published it, everything. It's like including polishing, optimization, all these things. The core mechanic and like the core features was made in like 2 or 3 weeks. And I also get the benefit that I can obviously utilize AI much more now. So I'm not saying like you need to be like this expert right now. I literally have like codex running at the start of recording this video. I had an AI model, an AI agent, literally just run in the background because now I'm so like confident in code. I know so much code that I can now use these AI agents. I can like vibe code, as you say, because I have the fundamental knowledge, like prompt it, be critical of the AI, and use AI efficiently. So that's the stage I wanted to be in, because it's not that complicated to learn Gale, but it's really not. It's not complicated. You just need to turn your brain off and you just need to build. Right? That's what I did. I turned my brain off, I started building, I didn't watch tutorials, I just opened the IDE, new project, okay, bank system, whatever, bank system. I just typed some code, okay, how do I do this? Struggle for a few minutes, then I go on Google, because we didn't have ChatGPT, or we did, but it was really bad. So I just go on Google, search Stack Overflow when I have an issue, for example, then I like see the discussions there, like what they were talking about, how I was going to do these things. Then I would like with this, I would not copy the code, but I would type it in myself, like in the specific project that I have, because you obviously can't just copy the same code like you can with ChatGPT with Stack Overflow usually, because this is a different project. And that's how I learned. So since I talk about this a lot on my channel, I've made what I call the struggle, build, repeat framework. And this is exactly this, because what I figured like after the fact is that there are 2 essential pieces of like things that we need to actually learn. And that's going to be both effort. So we need to do an attentive attempt, which is where we actually just try with focus. So you can try with focus, that's an attentive attempt, or in other words, effort. And then we also need feedback. So we need to see the results. So if we have these 2 things, and obviously with some prior knowledge, so you can watch an introduction video, watch the tutorial, like to get familiar with all these different things. You can know how programming works. If you just have effort and you have feedback, that's how you're going to learn. So how do we get both? Well, do we get feedback? Do we actually spend effort when we watch a tutorial? No, we don't. Okay. We also don't get any feedback because we don't see what doesn't work, right? We only see what works. We don't see what doesn't work. And we also doesn't get real feedback. That's the thing. With tutorials, even though you can see the result, it's not real feedback. You don't really know that this works. Let me explain. So when you are trying something, you spend effort. This is very interesting. So when you spend effort with something and then it doesn't work, it's not like you just say like, okay, this doesn't work. Okay. That's not what's going to happen. If you actually struggle, let's say you try this thing for 30 minutes, right? And it doesn't work. It's going to feel painful. It's not going to be good. It's going to feel slightly painful. Even though you might not sit there and like, oh damn. It's like slightly painful in your body when something doesn't work, right? You get this pain in your body. And the opposite is true for when you actually finish something that you actually tried. You spent a lot of effort on this thing and then you see that it works. You feel very good in your body. And that's what you're going to remember. You're going to remember this good feeling and you're going to remember this bad feeling. If you just copy code and it works, you're not going to get this feeling. You're not going to remember it. You're not going to remember the solution. So, okay, sure, the next time you can just copy the same code, but you didn't understand it. You don't know how to use it in different scenarios. You don't know how to change it. So the thing is that the 2 essential things to learn, feedback and effort, they're linked. You can't really get feedback or real feedback without even trying, because you're not going to get this feeling in your body, so you're actually going to remember the things. So with tutorials, they're basically useless. You don't do effort, You don't spend any effort. You also don't get any feedback because of like both you don't see the failures and you also don't get real feedback, which you're actually going to remember. If you're a complete beginner, I can tell you like, okay, you should check if the rigid body is not in a wake. You're not going to remember that if I tell you that. You're only going to remember that when you see like maybe 3 different times that the game crashes because you forgot to assign rigid body. That's when you're actually going to fully remember it. When you get this pain, when you get this like inconvenience that you forgot to do so, and the next time you're going to think, okay, I need to remember this the next time because I've done this mistake so many times, it doesn't feel good. So you're going to do it actually. If I just tell you, assign it, like check if it's null, it doesn't mean anything to you. You don't know the importance. So I know I kind of talked about this, but what is really the struggle build repeat framework? Well, it's basically this. It's effort and feedback. The struggle build repeat framework is what actually is going to teach you game development. It's what actually builds real skill. And this is not really only in game development, it's like just how learning works. So specifically, what does the struggle build repeat framework look like? It's that you're going to struggle for around 10 to 15 minutes. That's what I found like is the scientific and also what I find personally works the best for me and my students inside of Smartini. For 10 to 15 minutes, that's what I preach, where you're not going to watch any tutorials, you're not going to search on Google, use AI, nothing. You're just going to completely act like you're a caveman that has a PC with no internet, right? Trying to figure out coding, right? That's what I wanted to do. No internet. You can literally turn off your internet on your PC if you want to. If you want to be extreme, if you're like really addicted to searching and AI. So that's what I wanted to do. Struggle, just try to figure out something for 10 to 15 minutes. A lot of the time you're actually going to do it. You're actually going to complete it because you can guess your way through. You can like experiment. Okay, the thing is there. You can figure it out if you have enough time, right? That's the thing that I wanted to struggle with. But there are also a lot of cases where you obviously can't guess your way through it because it might be something new to you, be something that you haven't done before, right? Okay. That's completely fine. If it goes like 10 to 15 minutes and you haven't figured it out or it's like a buggy solution, obviously then go on Google, not tutorials, not AI. I wanted to specifically go on Google because you're still spending effort when you go on Google because it's not like super easy. It's not like ChatGPT just gives you the code to paste in. You can go Google, that's going to be effort, and you can read that and you can like get the solution from there. Not a tutorial, not anything else. Just Google, Stack Overflow, not even AI Google. If you're inside of Smartini or you want to join, then I have a forum search tool, which like eliminates everything from like the ChatGPT answer, the Google Gemini like summary, whatever, which is cheating. I don't want you to read those. If you want to have access to the forum search tool, it's inside of Smartini. It's the first link in the description. It's my paid program if you want to join. Just a little bonus you have inside. But you can do this as well. You can just try to ignore that solution. Just go on Stack Overflow, Reddit, maybe even Quora, whatever it might be, and then find the solution from there, like discussions, official documentation, for example. That's the best. And then I just want to repeat that. When you get the solution, okay, from Google, okay, just continue with the next thing. Struggle with the next thing. Then you're going to build, you're going to repeat. So that's the struggle, build, repeat framework. It's going to force your brain to spend effort, and it's also going to get you feedback because, as we talked about, you get this feeling. Now, I want to say that a lot of people, they understand the struggle, build, repeat framework. They can be excellent like game developers, but they still don't know how to finish a game because obviously that's the priority. We want to finish a game. We can't just like learn game development and then just have that skill. Because finishing a game, it's like a skill in its own. I know a lot of people that just make prototypes forever and they make like unfinished projects. I know that's a big deal in game development, or they just work on one project for like 5 years, right? Their first game for like 5 years, which is completely stupid. Don't do that, please. When I started game development, I really wish I knew that finishing my first game was going to be my #1 priority. And I think I realized this much quicker than someone else because, as I talked about, a lot of people just make prototypes or like unfinished projects, super long projects for like a long time. I think I realized this like quite quickly, only like a few months or weeks after I started, that I should focus on finishing my first game. Because what I did was that I kind of just started the project. Like I just started the project, I called it like Square Shooter. Then I just made something. Like I made a few mechanics, used like ChatGPT because that was like kind of coming out, right? Used some ChatGPT, learned code, did some code myself, things like that. And I just kind of made features, right? I didn't think, okay, this is going to be my first game. But I just made it into a game. Like for some reason, I wasn't conscious of this which I should have. I was conscious of that, okay, this is going to be my first game, I'm going to release it within 2 months. I wasn't conscious of that. I made it in like 5 months, I think. It's a long time. What I recommend right now, and what I've found is the best, is around 60 days. That's what I preach inside of Smartini. 60 days, 2 months. And that can also be from like starting Game Open. So, and that's exactly what I tell my students, is that even if you are a complete beginner, if you know how to learn, if you know like the step-by-step what you're going to do, then you should be able to release your first game in 60 days, including like learning the essentials. Or if you already know the essentials, you were stuck into the how, for example, you know like the very basics, then you can just make your game in 60 days. Right? I think every single one watching this video can make a game in 60 days, their first game. I'm not saying it's going to be awesome, like my first game wasn't awesome, but I think you definitely can. And I also think you definitely should. I think your first game, it should be small, and it should be your #1 priority. Because what's Game Open really about? It's about making games, right? It's about making video games that you can publish, something that you can show your friends, something that you can show the world, something that you can actually show when people ask, what do you do? Well, I make games. Then you show them your game. Like, for example, when I was visiting my friend here like 2 weeks ago, one of my friends, he had the game downloaded, like my game, on his phone. And he kind of talked about it to his other friend, like the other friend that I was meeting. And he got him to download it. Like, he mentioned it, he wanted to download it. And I just saw him sitting there, like, playing the game. Like, I watched him for, like, a little while, and then he played it, and then he just kept playing. Like, he was addicted. He said, like, one more time. He said, like 5 times or something, because he really enjoyed the game. Like, he was fully locked in on this game. He was just going to try it. I didn't even ask him to download it. He just wanted to, because my friend mentioned it, like my other friend, which already knew about it. And I also remember, like, when we were leaving, we were sitting at the bus. He literally just opened, he opened the game on his phone, and he just started playing. Didn't even look at me, say anything. He just sat there starting to play the game. And that's fun, right? That's what Game Development is really about. Like, seeing others enjoy your game, seeing others enjoy what you made, seeing others like enjoy what you spent so much effort in. You were so creative. You thought about like how to make this game as fun and addicting as possible. And you see the result like in real time, that people like really enjoy the game. And I also have like other people, like my little sister, for example, she really enjoys playing the game like once in a while. I also see my other friend, like another creator. He doesn't play any games, like he doesn't have any games on his phone, and he downloaded my game, and he told me like after 1 or 2 weeks after he downloaded the game that he just kind of opens the game and starts playing when he's bored. Like, it's a new habit for him, right? And that's feedback that's so fun to get. The game is Orbital Chaos, by the way, for those of you who know my game. And that's what Game Development is really about. I would never be able to do that if I didn't publish the game, because when the game is on App Store and Google Play, every single one in the world can download the game. Like 95% of their fucking world has a phone, right? Everyone has a phone. So when you publish a phone game or a Steam game, for example, it's so accessible. Like a prototype for mobile, it's never going to happen. Like, it's not happening. No one is going to download fucking APK for Android. For iPhone, it's impossible. You need to you need to enable developer mode and then plug your iPhone into a Mac. No one is going to play a prototype of yours on their phone, right? When you finish it, and also it's not going to be accepted if it's not finished for like App Store. So finishing your game, like making a full game, should be your priority. That's what game development is all about. Finishing is a skill in its own. So sure, you can be like a technical expert. Oh yeah, expandable code, right? But that doesn't mean anything if you're not finish the game. That's what game development is about. So if you don't know how to finish, you're not a game developer. I say this usually, that you're not a game developer until you have finished one game. And finishing, it's not that complicated. I've told you that you should finish your first game in 60 days. That includes learning if you're completely new. So 60 days from today, like if you know how to learn, you watch my channel, you know like the principles that I preach, and you're really like locked in, you have like 6 to 9 hours, that's what I say inside of Smartini, a week, you should be able to do that. But that doesn't mean that the game is going to be awesome or that you need to like be an expert or something. It's not that complicated, right? You can look at my game. Like, it's super fun. It's a good game, right? It's a good mobile game, but it's literally just one mechanic. or it's like tap to pulse, hold to charge. And then when you charge, time slows down. That's like the main mechanic. When you charge, time slows down, right? You can, I literally made that in like one day, right? The main mechanic. And then I had to make, this is the things that takes a lot of time. It's like optimization, polishing, like adding smaller features like gems, the store. It's not like super complex things. It's not like something that you need to be very intentional about, but it's just things that you need to do, right? Obviously, I need a story in my game because then it would be like super boring if I didn't have that. And it's just all these different like small bugs and things like that. It's not super complicated. You just need to like kind of work. You just need to do the things. You just need to fucking do them. Even when I made my first game, I was like completely new to this. It wasn't that complicated. There was just a lot of different things to do. And you also, the most important thing is that you don't overscope it. So you just keep it small. That's the most important thing. So if you just keep it very simple, you don't overcomplicate it, you just keep it simple. Okay, one mechanic, a few upgrades, like 3. That's what I have in my game. Literally just 3 plus a shield, so 4. And then I have like a small settings menu, which is literally just 3 toggles for sound effect, music, and vibrations. Literally just that. Keep it very simple, and then just publish a game. Focus on finishing, not making it awesome or super big. Focus on finishing. Don't overcomplicate it. Simplify everything. Then it's not that overcomplicated. Like, it's not hard to make a game. I've learned that experience is the greatest teacher. This is like an awesome saying. It's so true for everything. And also, when you just make games, you don't overcomplicate it. You're not a perfectionist. You just fucking finish the game, right? Make it small, finish the game, move on to the next. Your next game is going to be much better as well. So if you were to spend like 1 year on the game, that would be a bad game. That would be a really bad game if you're completely new and you spend 1 year on the game, because in the start, you don't have the same skills that you have now. So your skills got better, but you can really utilize them to their full potential because you started the project with maybe like a bad idea. You started making the systems like in a bad way. So when you just make small games, you can make each one gradually better. So you can utilize the skill gain that you get. So I kind of talked about Smartini. You might not know what it is. It's my paid program. It's where I promise you that you're going to release your first game in 60 days or less. And I also have a release guarantee. So if you don't release within 60 days or less, then I'm personally going to coach you for free, like literally tell you step by step what to do if you don't finish. So it's going to be 100% certain that if you join Smartini, you're going to become a game developer finally and release your first game. It's the first step to becoming a full-time game developer, about making your own YouTube channel. It's the first step to being a game developer and making awesome games. Also, talking about awesome games, if you want to make your first game much better and you actually want real critical feedback from someone that knows game development and actually also plays games, then I'm also going to beta test your game just before you release it, your first game, and then give you like a little video of the biggest feedback and like how you're going to implement these things, so that your first game can be addicting, it can be fun, and the release is going to go super smooth. Together with all the other bonuses that you get inside of Smartini as well. There's too many to mention. It's an awesome deal. It's the best way to finish your first game. It's the first link in the description. You can scroll down and click that right now if you want to check it out and learn more about it. So thank you so much for watching. Check out Smartini, and yeah, see ya.